So, gay headcanons. They started off as a fun way to relate to characters in a way that you couldn't before, seeing things in them that you see in yourself. The headcanons were based on the idea of subtext. Because companies for a long time couldn't explicitly state a character was gay or trans or anything under that umbrella, you had to rely on subtle hints that inferred what the creator was actually trying to get across. There's a lot of works that came out decades ago where the creators are finally able to discuss what they actually wanted to write. Interesting to see the creative shackles they were chained with degrade over time. I really like the idea of gay headcanons from this perspective, and I've definitely participated in my fair share over the years. However, and so unfortunately, gay headcanons have morphed into a monster I can no longer recognize. Hey guys, it's Bixie back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about a pretty touchy and big controversial subject, so put on your seatbelt kids, we're going for a wild ride today. We may not get out this one alive, but I have a few thoughts. Before I go any further though, one thing that I want to make sure is stated before we get into the video though is that if you guys were following or subscribed to Omnia, or if you even weren't subscribed to Omnia, they're a really good commentary art channel, and their channel was actually deleted by their ex. And that channel was their livelihood, that's how they made money. So if you guys want to go check out Omnia's video, links are going to be in the descriptions below. Please go and support them. Now let's talk about Encanto, because Encanto is really big right now, so it is a big target of this currently. Now I expect this to become the giant cancerous fuck it is right now, but that does not make it any harder to witness. According to Twitter and TikTok, the beautiful film Encanto that's about healing generational trauma caused by forced displacement and pushing high expectations on your family members as a subconscious but harmful measure to ensure that never happens again is actually about a gay little happy family having to navigate around the mean homophobic abuela who is irredeemable, I might add, and a villain. The worst Disney villain. That bitch who killed dogs, and she's okay. A literal fucking colonizer? Better than her. She's a monster, barely human. Fuck Chris Baxter with her husband was murdered in front of her. Like, we all have our bad days. So anyway, the Latina community really wasn't a fan of such an emotional cultural film being reduced to a gay little movie where Camilo was the main character and also gender fluid, because he's a shapeshifter, I guess. Because that completely undermines the strong message of the film, which was healing generational trauma. I was surprised at how many people hated Abuela, but then turn around and, I'm just gonna say it, but then turn around and watch Steven Universe. Like, I love that show for what it's done within the animation industry and community, and its push for representation, but holy fuck, literal Nazis who murdered probably millions of people in gyms and kept humans in zoos were like Steven's new best buddies by the end of the series. But like a grandmother who was traumatized in her youth, like loving her family later after she realized her mistakes was like this insurmountable reach. Like, really? I went off on a tangent as I do in these parts, but I'm going to try to stick to script, so let's get back to it. Back to the title, why do I think gay headcanons can be problematic? I'll tell you why. I've seen this so many times and it's getting old. I don't know how to phrase this, but in an effort to add diversity in one area, you push gender norms in another. For instance, there will be a straight dude who has been canonically shown to have an interest in women, but also have an interest in like cooking or fashion or something that's conflated with girliness, suddenly gay. You can't be straight and like fashion, that's a woman's sport, gay, homosexual, gay. Even like human touch or affection. Like if you care about your friends, that's gay. That's gay, that's sus, bro. And it's like one thing to be like, I think it'd be cool if this character was gay, but it's when you collect evidence that's when it becomes problematic. Like, you're literally using stereotypes at that point. I've seen people say that Luisa, like back on that Encanto shit, it's either a trans woman or a trans man, which is bad no matter how you look at it, because either they're saying that she's too masculine to be a cis woman or too tomboyish to be a girl. So like, why are you doing that? Luisa can be a buff, assigned at birth woman, and like I said, the headcanon itself isn't what's bad, it's the context you're using to justify it. Like, I know a few trans women, and I know none of them will look at a Luisa and say, like, no way, she's cis, she's buff like me, power, like, what in God's name? Like, I legitimately don't believe these were made by trans people at all, like, the headcanons. I don't, at least not binary trans people, because it's just awful. Like, I don't understand it at all. Next up, we're going to talk about Camilo, because he's had about 5 minutes of screen time within the whole film, and somehow he's become the main character. Like, I really like Camilo, he's fun. His part in the Bruno song absolutely slaps. He has some funny scenes. I honestly think the headcanon of him being like gender fluid, it's literally just because he shapeshifts and he's a bit flamboyant. Like, the non-binary shapeshifter has such a tight grip on the fucking scrotum of the animation industry. It's just a little boring, I guess, in my opinion. Like, I want some like sauce, some good shit. But I don't think this headcanon is that like offensive. It's just not original and kind of comes from nowhere. But so, dude, who cares, right? I think Isabella's annoys me the most though. Like, it just because Isabella isn't in love with Mariano, which is one male, that suddenly just makes her a fucking lesbian. Also, she has a lot of colors, and Pride Flag also has a lot of colors. So that's the distinction. My issue: every time a woman in an animated film is like not being her true free self, it doesn't always point to her being a lesbian. Again, nothing is wrong with this headcanon, but the same thing was done with Elsa when she had to like conceal, don't feel, don't let it show. Everyone pointed to like, oh, she must be gay because she has ice powers, you know? And I get analogies, but at the same time, just because it can work in an analogy way does not mean that is the only way it can play out. It does not mean like they are queer baiting is what I'm saying. Like, it's not queer baiting to not go that route just because that is a possible narrative route. Anyway, like, they started to point to lesbianism for Elsa, and people started to make petitions to give her a girlfriend in the next film. Essays were written on it. Fair, I guess. Disney didn't give a shit though. Elsa is still girlfriendless to this day. Disney does not give a fuck. Disney does not care. I rarely hear people talk about the headcanon of Bruno being gay. I actually like that one. I think it's pretty funny. I mean, we've never seen Bruno interact with women, like, outside of his family. But we know he told that one lady her fish was going to die. And that's enough for me. That's enough for me. But no, you know, I don't need any more evidence than that. And, like, my final thing on this subject is, like, stop saying Abuela's homophobic. Like, if we're going to keep it real, like, real Cash Money real, they probably are all homophobic. Like, it's a Latino family in the 1920s. It is very homophobic out there. I'm just saying. Abuela's not homo. The movie's not about Abuela being homophobic. She probably fucking is. I don't know. Just to stop saying that that's what the movie is about, because it's not about Abuela being homophobic. And I feel like the worst part of saying Abuela's homophobic, it makes her irredeemable in a way that the story doesn't even apply itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's saying, because if you're homophobic, that's like being racist. You know what I mean? There's no real reason to hate gay people or to hate a race of people. Like, you're just being hateful for no fucking reason. And that's really not what Abuela was doing. She wasn't being hateful for no reason. She was traumatized by seeing her husband die. So she wanted to put these huge, high expectations on her family to ensure that they will always have the power, resources, and strength to not have to start over like she did. But like, they're saying like she hates gay people. Like, that's such a fucking reach in the wrong direction. I don't like it when people say that about her. But moving on. Encanto is a beautiful film. This isn't my last video on it, but that's all I have to say today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because yeah, that makes my heart go, oh my god, I just knocked the shit out of my mic. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that makes my heart go gooey gooey, pow pow, you know, like, getcha goo, period. But yeah, Spooksy, signing out.